Hello and welcome to Pytechie. Today we are going to explore the concept of sampling. First, we will see survey. So imagine you want to know what's everyone's favorite ice cream flavor in your school. That's called a survey, asking a question to collect information. A survey is a method of collecting information by asking a question to people. Survey can be done for the sample of people or the whole population. Now, you might be wondering what is a population and what is a sampling. You choose a small group of people, like 50 students out of 500, and ask them a question. This is a small group is called a sample, and a big group, like a all student, is called a population. Population is the entire group of individuals, objects, or event that you want to study or draw conclusion about. It can consist of peoples, animal, items, organization, or any set that share a defining characteristics relevant to your research question. Sampling means picking a small group from a bigger group to study. This helps us save time, money, effort. So in this diagram, you can see there's some people which is a white color and some are the red color. So combination of both, we can say population, and the only red sample we can say is a sample. It is a subset of the population. So in simple, what I can say, sampling is a subset of population. Now let's see what is the difference between population and sample. So population is a log in size and sample is a small part of population. So if you study the population, so it will be a very costly or expensive, and sample is a cheaper and faster way, because in population we are counting every and individual people from the log groups, and sample is a subset or is a small group of people from the population. So it is a cheaper to study and faster way, and it could be accurate if you select the properly subset or the sample of the people from the population. Sampling is divided into two broader part. One is a probability sampling, another one is a non-probability sampling. In probability sampling, everyone has a equal chance of being picked. It is a fair like a lottery. It is a fair, random, better for the log studies. In non-probability sampling, here not everyone has a equal chance of being picked. So it is a quick, easy, but less accurate. Now let's explore in detail. Probability sampling further divided into multiple parts, which is a simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and cluster sampling. Simple random sampling, everyone name goes into a hat and we pick randomly. Example, picking 5 students from a class of 30 at random. Systematic sampling, pick every third, fifth, or 10th person on a list. Example, every fourth person on a school attendance list. Stratified sampling, dividing people into a group like boys and girls and then pick some from each groups. Ensure all groups are fairly represented. Cluster sampling, divided into a groups like classes, then randomly picks whole groups. Example, choose two classroom and survey everyone in them. So in this, most useful is a stratified sampling, which you can see later on if you use machine learning. There mostly we use a stratified sampling. Non-probability sampling has further divided into multiple parts: convenience sampling, judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. In convenience sampling, pick whoever is nearby or easy to reach. Example, asking your friends because they are close. Judgmental sampling, pick people based on your judgments or needs. Example, only asking a science teachers for a science related survey. Quota sampling is a choose a set number from each group but not randomly, like picking 10 boys and 10 girls, any 10. In snowball as sampling, we ask someone like who, then bring someone else, and so on. Used when it is harder to find people, like in their medical cases. Now, I hope you are clear about sampling methods, different types of sampling, and population. Now, let's see what is a sampling error. So, you want to know everyone's favorite color in your school, but instead of asking all 1,000 students, you ask only 10. Now, let's say in your survey, most students say blue, but if you ask the entire school, you did find green is actually more popular. That's the difference between your sample result and real population result. That's called a sampling error. Why does sampling error happen? Because samples are just a small part of population. They might not perfectly match the whole group. Let's say example, suppose you want to know the average height of student in a school. Actual average height, which is 150 centimeter, and sample average height, which is 152 centimeters. So sampling error is 152 minus 150, which is 2 centimeter. So your sample overestimated the height by 2 centimeter. Sampling error is a natural difference, but sampling bias is a problem that happen when you choose your sample is a bad or unfair way. Now, you might be wondering how to decide the appropriate sample size. The sample size is a number of people, item, or case you include in your study. Too small and your data might be wrong. Too big and you waste time and money. So thick is to find the right number. So why does sample size matter? Let's say you want to find out how many student likes maths in your school of 1,000 students. If you ask only 5 people, the answer would not represent the whole school. But if you ask 300 people, you will likely get much better idea. That's you choose a right sample size. It's so important. This is why the sample size matter. Now let's see what affect the sample size. There's a four major things to think about. First is a population size. How big is the entire group you are studying? Example, a village, a school, a city. Second thing, confidence level. How sure do you want to be about your answer? Common level 95%, 90%, 99%. Higher confidence equal to large sample size need. Margin of error. How much error you are okay with? Smaller error, plus or minus 2% needs a large sample. Bigger error need a smaller sample. If the sample size is a log, then you can say your margin of error is to be minus 2 or plus 2 percent. If your sample size should be it will be small, then you can say your margin of error should be a plus or minus 10%. Variability in response. How different do you think people answer uniquely? If people give you different answer, you will need a bigger sample to be balanced out. These four things which affect the sample size. So before selecting a sample size, you should be taking care of this fourth point. So is there any formula to find out the sample size? Yes, but you don't worry about. You need to memorize it. There's multiple websites and calculator which can calculate for you. So here is a simple formula to calculate sample size. I hope you now have a clear understanding of sampling and population. Let me know if I missed anything and feel free to drop your questions in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in next one.